Hi guys, Martin speaking. Welcome to this video. This is a 7th edition Tyranid tactics video, how to use a Tyranid Tyrannocyte. So this is the drop pod transport version with the guns that shoot. You can also make a spore assist. I've got no intent of ever making one of those, so unfortunately I won't be able to do a tactical video because I won't know how to use it. Well, there's a lot of controversy on how to use these at the moment, so I'm going to give my opinion on it, and I well imagine that when the FAQ comes out, which it's going to have to do, I would imagine that the same thing will happen by the way I'm suggesting the rules. So, as a drop pod, you can carry either 20 infantry models, i.e. gaunts, or one monstrous creature inside. So I'm using mine to drop in a Dimmerkaren, and it arrives with very similar rules to the normal Space Marine drop pod, where when it lands on the table it scatters 2d6 inches, but as soon as it hits an object it stops. As soon as it hits an object. If it was going to stop on top of an object, it would stop an inch before it, and that's the simplicity of it. Once it's landed, the unit inside must disembark a full 6 inches. So you've got to get 6 inches away from it when you land. Important to remember that one as well. Some people seem to be overlooking that. So if you've got a monstrous creature, if you try to drop that in the middle of a big blob of guardsmen, for example, if your monstrous creature that's inside it cannot deploy wholly 6 inches away from the Tyrannocyte and an inch away from your enemy model, then your monstrous creature is destroyed. So it is worth thinking about where you land them. And then it moves as a normal monstrous creature would move, and that's ultimately what it is. It is a monstrous creature. That's what it's listed as, and that's what kind of brings us to the confusion. The rules for monstrous creature say that you don't need arc for your firing weapons. You measure from the base, and you've got a full 360 degree firing arc, the way you would have with say a Swarm Lord, for example. Swarm Lord doesn't have a gun, but a Hive Tyrant with twin link devourers. This is slightly different in the fact that it has these 5 guns that run around, which you can take the choice. You can have the devourers, you can have venom cannons, or you can have barbed stranglers. And it's only a 25 point upgrade to go for the venom cannons or barbed stranglers, and they're a powerful weapon, let's be honest. There's 5 of them on there. Now the rules for instinctive fire state that each weapon must fire at the nearest target at the end of the movement, at the end of the shooting phase, before morale checks are taken. So you shoot everything else first, and then before you take all your tests, or your opponent takes his test, you then shoot this. Now, the way it was played in White Dwarf, and the way I believe it will be FAQ'd to confirm, and even the way it's written, suggests that you measure from each weapon coming out. So this gun would shoot this way, that gun would shoot that way, etc, etc. The debate on the internet at the moment, and the debate in all the clubs, and nobody can confirm it, even the dedicated Tyranid websites can't make an exact ruling on it. Some people are saying that because it's a monstrous creature and you've got 360, that gun can shoot this way. So if you had a unit of models here and then one sort of off in the back, this unit is then closer, so therefore all 5 guns should shoot at that. I don't think that's right. I think that's very, very, very overpowered. If all of a sudden you're dropping 5 template weapons, albeit at ballistic skill 2, dropping 5 template weapons on that one unit, I don't think that's right. I think it's intended, the way they played it in White Dwarf, that you shoot each weapon with its normal sort of firing arc that a vehicle would have. Even though this is a monstrous creature and not a vehicle, I think that's how you would shoot them out. And you'll pull the nearest target from each weapon's line of sight. The fact that they mention each weapon, the fact that they mention line of sight, you wouldn't mention it if it wasn't from the gun. And as I say, that's how they played it in there. It's my opinion on it. I do understand why people think that because it's a monstrous creature, well, actually no, all the guns, it spins round and they all shoot at this closest target. It defies logic to me, which I know a lot of 40k defies logic, but I play it with the way I've just explained, which is a less powerful way. Some could argue it's more powerful because you're shooting 5 different units, but with BS2 you're less likely to hit. So that's the way I play it. If an opponent goes against me and wants to use it the other way, all I would ask then is that we roll a dice at the beginning of the game. On a 1, 2, 3, we play it where they all shoot at the same target. On a 4, 5, 6, each one picks its closest target from its facing. And until it's FAQ'd, that's the only thing we can do, guys. There's nothing more that you can actually agree on with that, because both arguments are completely valid. I can fully understand them both. This is just how I play it and how I see the intended rules. They've been written very badly, as have a lot of the rules. Other than that, it's a multi-wound creature, same as any other Tyranid, so I won't go into the full stats of it. And you move it around. How would you use it in game? Drop it down behind the enemy lines or wherever you need to get your monstrous creature. So my Dimmicarin is very much a combat focused unit, so I'll drop it down wherever I want to get the Dimmicarin to, suffer a round of shooting and then get into combat with the Dimmicarin. This will then just add a bit of support and fire running around the table. It can't be ignored by the enemy, but it's a toughness 6 monstrous creature, so therefore it's not the easiest thing to strip all the wounds off. It's got, I think it's a 4-up armor save that it's got, so it's survivable but needs dealing with. So you use it to confuse your enemy, make them deal with that while your gaunts are still running up the table, because when that lands down on turn 2 and the rest of your army is not necessarily into combat, then fine, while people are dealing with that, your rest of your army is coming up. That's how I use it. As I say, I'm sure there's going to be 100 comments underneath this, people using it different ways, and once the FAQ comes out, if I'm wrong and they all shoot at the same target, then fine, I stand corrected. As I say, I can understand both sides of it. It's my interpretation, it's how I play it. Let me know what you think, guys, and if there's any other questions, drop them into the comments below and I'll try and answer them. And other than that, press the like button if you like the video, and if you haven't already, then please feel free to subscribe. There'll be more of these videos. I'm going to put one out for the Dimmicarin tactics soon as well. So I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks very much for watching. See you soon.